Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Better at Beach podcast. My name is Mark Burik, and I am here with Brandon Joyner and our trusty producer, Huma, in the background, being our little Joe Rogan and Jamie type person. So we'll get her to start Googling answers for us. But today we are talking about the setting change. The FIVB just changed the setting rules. This has happened in beach. It's happened in indoors as well. It's in the experimental phase. And so we're going to talk about old setting rules. We're going to talk about the new setting rules and then how we see these massive differences happening across all levels. And we might even give you some setting tips. So I hope you're looking forward to the episode. If you guys are listening to our podcast, if this is your first time here and you just want to hear everything about beach volleyball, go ahead and click that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all the things. But the subscribers really help us. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can get some of our apparel. Our new swag store is set up. So all you have to do is look under this video and you'll see a collection of t-shirts, cups, everything like that. So support our show and get some cool volleyball gear and designs. First things first, we're going to go through our camp dates coming up. May 16th in Santa Monica for intermediate players. May 23rd for intermediate men in St. Pete, Florida. May 30th in Long Island, all levels. That is historically our biggest camp of the year and arguably the most fun. May 30th and June 6th in San Diego and Tacoma are sold out. June 20th, Virginia Beach. June 27th, Milwaukee. July 18th, Des Moines, Iowa. July 25th, we're in Bend, Oregon. Santa Rosa on August 1st, that's in California. And, of course, our 7-day all-inclusive event, November 29th in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic. And we also have leagues, classes, and little mini clinics going on in Santa Monica, Hermosa, and Redondo. So this Monday, signups are due this Monday for our Kings and Queens League. And yeah, check out our website for all that good stuff. Let's get into the show. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. Yeah, setting change. These
Again.
are things I wish. Yeah, I wish it happened when I was playing. This would have catered to my level of skill a little bit better. AKA not being able to set clean.
I got a message from Joe Lambert, who a good friend. He's in Salt Lake City, and he goes, "So with these new rule changes, is this going to change? Do you even coach setting anymore?" And before we get into like what the rule changes anymore, I said, "Listen, the technique of setting is still good, sound, accurate technique. It's just they're going to blow less whistles. So we're not going to change anything that we teach. And the contrast training that we use at camps and with our online players, we still need to go through those contrasts to develop control. So some people need a deeper catch position. Some people should release from higher. Some people need to speed their hands up. Some people need to slow their hands down. But today we're really going to talk specifically about the implications of this new FIVB change. And I think it's still in experimental mode, but here it is. There are no more double contacts with setting. Double contacts is still a rule. They can still blow the whistle, but it has to be two separate, distinct contacts, like waving at a ball with one hand and then waving at another one, or perhaps fisting a ball with one hand and fisting it and doing it in the other. But if it's minuscule, they're not going to call it. And the caveat to that is if it stays on your side.
Right.
So that leaves this little bit of question of, okay, if I old double it, but it goes over, what happens there? And I think that the intent of that rule is to say, like, it can't be sloppy if you attack. So if you attack with a handset, and we can see a double out of it, then they're going to call it. But yeah, no more doubles.
Yeah, which, I mean, it was already heading that way as far as the international scene. I mean, I think anyone that watched the Olympics, especially Americans, we are obnoxiously strict with hands. I think it's just the history of our sport, for better or for worse. Like I understand both arguments, but they were starting to get away with just letting balls be high and quick, and like if they can't tell if it's a double, they're not going to call it. And so I think they've kind of just taken the next step into taking the play out of the ref's hands, which I kind of like. I like that aspect. I think too many times in the sport, I do not like it when refs take it upon themselves to decide winners and losers. And when we were talking about doubles, like hand setting is an extremely hard skill to judge. And so the positive is that now it's going to be on the players. The players are going to be the ones winning and losing games. We're not allowing a ref to blow a whistle more than they should or less than they should. So that is the positive. But yeah, it's definitely going to have some implications. So we're going to see a lot different styles.
Yeah. And the AVP hasn't announced that they're adopting this. So right. This is only for international ball. And it is in the experimental stage. You know, they run a couple of experiments every few years just to see if it's going to add to the game, take away, if it create a real benefit. And I do really think that taking this out of the game where everybody goes, huh? Like even my own wife, she'll watch a game, think something was perfect, and then look around confused going, what happened? And then sometimes the players are also like, what happened? Why did a whistle just blow after I set? And it's right. Frustrating as a player. And for fans who are just coming to the game, that's also like, yeah, it is frustrating. And the old heads, the Chris Browns and CBVAs, they're going to say that it's ruining the sport. There's no skill anymore.
The St. Johns, the Dodds, all of that crowd. And you know, honestly, like even guys like Phil Anders, like these guys that are currently playing that just have beautiful hands. Like that's the con of it, is setting is a skill. And it takes, like, the difference between somebody hand setting and somebody bump setting, there should, minus Christian Sorum, who's just a freak. That whole team is just full of freaks. But like, other than that, like, there's a lot of inconsistency that happens with bump setting versus hand setting. And so that used to be a way where it was like, oh, you're a really good hand setter. Your team is going to be in system a lot more often than the team that bump sets. So I understand that argument a lot, where it's like, no, why are we taking this skill out of the sport? Like, why are we now bringing up this bottom half of people just because it was a tough call to make, or it's something that we want to see how the game goes. So I feel for those players as well. It's how I felt when I for indoor, when they've kind of gotten rid of doubles for indoor, was I took a lot of pride in the fact that even though I was a setter and I wanted to get the ball to my spot, like rarely did I double. And when they got rid of that, I was like, like, now I spent so many years of my life training and figuring out how to not double this ball, and now they're just letting everybody do it. So I understand that side too. I think that is an extreme frustration with the current players. I think for the growth
path of figuring out how to be accurate and not double.
Yeah.
Now
it's like,
we just want you to be accurate and let the play live. Less whistles,
right?
Like more action, less.
And so, like, yeah, it's like, okay, for now, those guys, like, who knows how many hours Phil spent or Anders spent perfecting their handsets. And now it's like, okay,
Yeah.
all of those hours that I spent, now you're telling me that that was kind of a waste of time. And I could have been using that to get a better serve. I could have been using that to become a better passer, a better hitter, something like that. I think that that argument's kind of crazy, or it's valid.
Mm.
Um, but I also think that it offers a lot of leeway for the future. Because one of the big, I mean, we run into this at our camps, is one of the biggest struggles that we have to get from the athletes that we work with is allowing them to be okay with doubling,
Yeah.
allowing them to be okay with making a lift or something, because we want to see a different error than they're used to. So if you
Mm.
get rid of that error altogether, it's like, if this does come full circle and we see it implemented in everything, which it'll never get implemented in CBVAs, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But like AVP America tournaments, whatever, um, we should not see a single person bump setting,
Mm.
like, which should make the plays a lot more fun, um, in my opinion. You still have to be a good setter. Like that's
Right.
like one of my things is like, for you, do you think somebody actually gets a benefit by doubling the ball and getting to use their hands? Like
No,
if they're
like
just a bad setter.
you still have to be accurate. So when we're teaching setting, like these skills are, yes, they're meant to help prevent doubles, but they're help to get you accurate, get your finger pads on the ball and feel where it should go and shoot that release. So I that's always the mix. Like, well, now anybody can just do anything and there's no skill. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
skill is accuracy. All we've done with this rule is taken out the I'm trying not to double as opposed to
Right.
I'm trying to set a good ball,
Yeah.
right? So I don't mind this at all. I don't think that it allows more players to play. I think it just or a different athlete to be more successful or less successful, you are still going to have to be pinpoint accurate with whatever setting technique you use.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if it changes the way people handshape, which I don't think it will, everybody's going to use the same handshapes, right?
Right.
But like, what's going to be the use in a two-handed tomahawk slappy to try to set a ball? Are you going to be really that much more accurate? What it will do is like maybe that becomes more accurate than like where you were forced to tomahawk. Now you can just kind of finger the ball
Mm-hmm.
and throw it up. So I think it'll create a lot of better sets where people
Yeah.
were too scared to use their hands now.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Is like, I actually don't think like, if we take this rule out of it, I think one
Mm.
thing that we will see more of is option setting, where people are jumping
Oh
to go
God,
over on two, and
I
then
didn't
they're
even
just
think
flicking
about
balls. Like, I think we're going to see that change. People are going to be way more willing to jump set.
everybody's going to be jump setting now.
And if they don't, they're going to lose. Yeah, they
I
have to.
didn't even think about that implication
Yeah,
because now, like, you don't have to be perfect on the jump. You can just,
right. Yep. So
huh?
now that's going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see, like, what do they let get away? Like, are we going to start seeing people? Because normally, like, even like Miles Partain, who arguably one of the best hand jump setters that we've seen,
Mhm.
are we going to see where he is really focusing on that nice kind of bowl shape hands and then a solid release? Uh, or are we going to start seeing people like almost directing hands a little bit more, where maybe instead of their palms facing up, now they're facing their partner, like, and it's a little bit more redirection than it
Mm,
was before, instead of like setting off of shoulders?
yeah.
Um, I think that'll be interesting. That's going to be huge. And then the second thing is, or like kind of going along with that, I actually don't think we're going to see a huge change in what setting looks like. Like, I don't think we're going to see more doubles just because doubles are allowed. If it's in the if it's in the jump setting situation, maybe.
Yeah.
But all these guys, especially on the international scene, they were so high and quick before that, like, I don't think they changed the way they're doing things. We're just not going to have the whistles after the fact.
Yeah.
Another question that I have is, if I am the passer
Mm-hmm.
and I plan on setting my first contact to be a hittable ball, am I now allowed to double that ball? Like, because in serve receive, we're allowed, like, you're allowed to take the ball with your hands, not in
According to that
CBDs.
rule, yeah, right.
So like, and it's the way that it's stated in the rule book is like, it has to be a clean set. But now if we're getting rid of that double, now am I allowed to step up to half court and receive all these balls with my hands now and just kind of throw my hands at the ball to set my partner on two? It's like, what's the distinguish there? Because, and then what happens? Like, does my partner have to hit it? Can they decide if they want to hit it? Like, is it my intention that counts? Because if you and I are partners and I step up and take a ball with my hands and it's a double, but now we're not calling doubles, and I say that I'm setting you, but then all of a sudden you decide to set me, is that allowed? Because that could make the game extremely messy.
So
Like,
according to the FIVB website, double contact will be allowed during the setting option, provided the ball remains on the same side of the court.
yeah, there's no clarification on what is the
Serve
setting
receive.
option. Like, is a setting option always the second ball?
No, right? Because you can set
I mean, especially
up
right
three
now, we're
balls.
seeing a lot of people going over on two, like, which means that first contact is now a set. It's not a pass,
Everybody's thinking about this from the setting standpoint, and now like
right?
you can theoretically step up and receive these float serves with your hands if you want.
Yeah. Like, one of my first memories of Chase Budinger, like, he's the person that comes to mind for me, is I was watching him in juniors. I think he's a year ahead of me. Um, but watching him at juniors, people were jump serving and he was still standing. He was so big and strong, even at like 18, where he was like standing in the middle of the court or like up by maybe like 12 feet off the net. People were just rocketing these jump serves at him, and he just passed every single ball with his hands perfect. Like, everybody else that age is sitting back three quarters, like, passing every jump serve you're passing with your platform, but he was just a different beast.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, still is. But like, I imagine someone like him who, like, why wouldn't he just stand at 12 feet, set Miles, and then if Miles wants to hit it, hit it. If not, get him the ball back.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's something that they're going to have to be clear on.
Yeah, they're gonna probably
But I don't
step
know.
back a little bit.
Yeah, but I have no idea how they're going to kind of justify it,
Right?
because it's
Because
like, that
no, it
would be
wasn't
my argument.
setting.
It's a set. It's a set. If they say, like, if you take it with your hands and it's a double, then the ball has to go over the net. I mean, maybe that's something that we could get around. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just, I think that's one of the bigger questions that I have. And I also wonder if they are going to call lifts more.
I
You
hope
know,
I
like,
hope not, because for those of you guys who
right.
don't know, FIVB has com- gotten so strict on lifting or extended contact with the ball. So where you typically see people's hands like receive the ball, It's been for a while where your elbows cannot drop when you have contact with the ball, where it should be up, but you can go up and your hands receive. So it's, imagine like you're holding a trampoline by the metal bar outside of it. Like if you go up, you still see the ball enter and move downward in the trampoline. That's how we should set. So sometimes there's an optical illusion where people are like, oh, they're taking it so low, but in actuality, it was just their hand that shaped while their elbows and arms kept moving forward. So the FIVB recently started getting really strict on lifts, and there were a few tournaments that players were going nuts because they couldn't stand how strict they were being on the lifts. And now it's really fast. Like it's got to be out. There's no extended contact, and the AVP hasn't caught up with that. They're still allowing longer hands, and then that filters down to all of the amateur players in the US. And then if you look at college beach volleyball, I mean, those are deep right. hands. Right. Like there is a ton of time contact in college beach volleyball.
Right. Which, for the sake of the current rules, I think that we, as actually, we're working on setting in our morning intermediate class this week. So, and I think it's very true, is we are more likely to call doubles than we are lifts. Especially tournaments that are self-ref, like players are reffing players. Mm-hmm. We're okay. If that ball, for some reason, I hate it had spin on it. If you use that as a ref, don't use it again. Even if you call double, just say you saw a double contact. Don't say, oh, it's spun.
Yeah. Both hands touched it at different times. That's how you ref.
That's how you say it. Just say it every time. Don't there's no argument that can be made. The only thing the player can say is, no, it didn't. And then you're like, well, that's my discretion. I'm deciding this. Don't use the rule. It's spun. There's not a rule. No, it's not written anywhere.
Before.
Stop it.
That was made up by somebody somewhere, but stop using that as an argument.
Right. You can't tell me even back then, refs weren't like, oh, run one rotation, two rotations. No, get out of here. They're not watching the ball. Nobody has that good a vision.
720 degrees, my friend.
Yeah. No way. So, what I always tell, and the common theme that we see, especially with amateur players or intermediate players and beginners especially, is that our contact is really high and they touch the ball quick. And so when we're at our camps, we encourage that low contact, because normally what it does is it actually isn't a low contact. It just brings you back down to normal because you're so used to touching the ball so high. But I always say, right now, let's get called for lifts. Let's get called for lifts. And I think that's what we're seeing in the women's NCAA a lot, is they are over exaggerating, but girls especially are extremely good listeners, and they're really good about implementing things, whereas boys are just egotistical and rely on their athleticism a little too much.
It's tough to get it in there.
Or something.
No, I got it. I'll fix it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I'll just do it better, but the same way. Dang it, I'm out. And so when I'm back in the interrogation room. But whenever we're thinking about being an amateur player and we're trying to get better at setting, I would say take the ball lower. But now that this rule's come up, who knows? That might shift.
Yeah, I mean, in coaching, wherever the problem is starting, we need them to explore the extreme contrast to go to the other side, so that they can feel and sense what completely different feels like, instead of thinking you're so close, just change a little thing. It's let's change the whole concept of, we do this in business, we do this in sports, cut once, cut deep. If you're going to change a pricing model or something, it's we're not going to slide into it. Like, we're going to do it once, get rid of the pain, and then move on from here.
Yeah.
So if we're doing that in coaching, it's let's make a giant slash in this skill, take you to the other side of it, and then you be like, oh my God, that was a lift. And you go, you weren't close to a lift. So what
No.
you think feels like a carry or any other skill, like visually from the outside, it is now perfect. So stay where you feel that uncomfortable until it becomes your new comfort zone.
Yeah. It's not illegal. It feels different. Like that's a bit different, and illegal are not the same word.
No.
I use the same. I think we probably have a lot of the same conversations, especially with how long we've been hanging out. But I always say, like, our programs that we work on within um, in Hermosa, a lot of them are like 6 week programs, or especially when we go to these 3 day camps, 7 day camps, whatever it is. Um, I always say, like, if you make a drastic change, even if it, like, if we have a timeline and you're on one end of the time, on one end of the line, and we need to get you to the middle, it's always better to try to jump to the opposite side, because as a coach, it's really easy for us to pull you back to that middle.
Mm-hmm.
But if we keep inching along, then that takes years to get you to your goal. So, like, I always say, within our 6 weeks things, it's like, make a drastic change. Like, if you make that drastic change, we might be able to find your perfect set within the day. Like, within this hour and a half, we might be able to find your perfect set. But if you just, like, kind of keep listening to that weird voice in your head that's saying, oh, different is wrong, different is wrong, different is wrong, then we probably, not only will we definitely not get there within a 3 day or 7 day camp, but we might not get there in a 6 week program. So it's like, making those drastic changes is humongous,
Yeah.
humongous.
And, it demonstrates every athlete who can adapt or change something faster than the athlete next to them will get ahead faster. So,
Mm-hmm. You
so
posted something on Instagram yesterday. What do you remember what that post was that you shared on Instagram yesterday?
must have been my bot. I don't know.
Something about business. I think it was like, the difference between people succeeding in business or not is that the people that succeed are more comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, like, that's not just a business thing. Like, that's a like a, yeah.
Life
Oh,
parallel.
it was no, that's not it. It was, yeah, here we go. The most successful people I know don't have better ideas. They have a higher tolerance for discomfort. They're simply willing to sit in the mess longer than everyone else. Like,
Sounds like us.
that's it. Yeah, we're damn good at sitting in discomfort. But yeah, like, that's such, like, a good, and eventually, like, joking aside, for you and I, that is very true. We are used to sitting in discomfort, but it hasn't messed with us. It, like, sure, we have tough days, we have tough weeks, we have tough months, but, like, overall, mentally, and as far as pushing,
Mm-hmm.
we see a pretty regular pace of what we're willing to do and what we can go through. And
Yeah.
we know that through that discomfort, we're gonna see a little peak. We're gonna see a new plateau that we find.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's almost become second nature at this point. But I think for us, that started when we were in high school, when we were, like, kind of the little chip on our shoulder athletes, that it was like, hey, dude, I don't really know what comfortable feels like. I don't know if I ever felt it.
Yeah.
And so, like, being able to fight through that. And I think a lot of volleyball players specifically find themselves in that. Like, we've talked before about how I think beach volleyball players do make good employees because they make ends meet. Like,
Yes.
if they can listen a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and have the drive and figure out how to make life work. Um, beach volleyball players have sat in discomfort. They've
Right. They should be the ultimate entrepreneurs because you're already dedicating half of your time to something that does not make money, and then
right,
you're surviving in the South Bay and you're seeing the world. Like,
right,
so there's some part of you that can figure out any business you want to if you just choose to go that route. And then if you grow an
yeah,
audience while you're playing, then you have a set of people that you can sell to if they're already fans of you. People just want to buy stuff from people they trust and enjoy.
right,
Like, I would much rather go to my friend's restaurant than somebody who's, just another restaurant.
for sure.
So,
So beach volleyball players, you're fucking crazy, but good on you.
well, if they keep moving to Florida, it's a
A
smarter
little bit
financial
better,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so it will be interesting. I didn't even think about jump setting.
Have
I didn't
yeah.
think
Have
about
they have what, do we know when their next tournament is?
international.
Yeah.
No, it seems like they happen
I
all the
guess
time.
maybe it's China in like 2 weeks. I think Logan and Hagen are going. So it'll be interesting. I'll get like some feedback on that one and see how it goes.
Yeah, it
But
changes how you
yeah,
practice, right? Well, does it? Because now the AVP teams who also play internationally, what do they do in those little TIFFs during practice? Like, hey, are we playing FIVB rules or are we playing AVP rules? Because now that changes what's allowed or encouraged at practice too.
yeah. Hopefully none of them are calling doubles. They all need to get better at winning points rather than complaining. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, and
but yeah,
then how
and
long?
going back to what
Like,
did you say?
if that sticks, if FIVB sticks, how long will it take the AVP and then college volleyball and then amateur? I mean, amateur leagues are like regular tournament directors. It would be brave for somebody to
Mm-hmm.
be like, we're going by the new World Tour rules.
Yeah,
I would appreciate it.
same.
I think do it, and then if they change it, okay, change the rules back. But like whatever the highest level of volleyball is doing, I think we should follow suit, prepare people,
Yeah, I
and
mean it's
be friendlier for your B and your
yes,
A players who are
yes.
always quipping and
Preach.
yeah,
Yeah, I think tournament organizers, if I was a tournament organizer and I saw this change happening, I would experiment myself. And I would
yep,
say, hey, double A and lower, we're going to experiment in this.
mm-hmm.
Maybe if you don't want it, like avoid the group that is a little high horseish,
Closer to
you know?
pro, yeah,
Um, yeah, like if we want to still call doubles on them because it hasn't made it this way yet, cool, do it. But take this opportunity as an experiment. Yeah, get those B level players, those A level players, get them all hand setting. I guarantee you, if you do that, if you do it for 2 summers, you will see the overall level of your area improve by probably a level each.
100% agree.
B's will become A's will become double A's will become opens. And even if you move, even after those 2 years, if you decide to move back to the doubles, I guarantee you the level still sticks. Those players will learn how to set clean.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
spend 5, 10, 20 years of their career saying, no, I don't handset. I never have. I haven't been able to because they attempted it 10 times, got blown on a whistle, and then they miss a third of the
Yeah.
game. And it's like, if you
Right.
just allow all of them the opportunity to learn without losing points at the lower levels, everybody in the community gets better because there's not this
Mm-hmm.
giant barrier preventing you from learning a skill.
Right.
You know, practice
Yeah.
ugly. That's what we do. Like every kid, every high school kid, college kid, yes, it's all ugly when you start. The advantage that people who play on teams and clubs have is that the coach says, keep going. Whereas if you
Right.
learn and you just start playing with friends right away, they immediately call it. And so you don't get practice reps, you only get play reps. And I think that hurts people's careers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it welcomes growth, and it gets rid of one of the only negative things in beach volleyball, which is confrontation.
Mm.
Like when we have our camps, like one of the funny things that a lot of people say, and a lot of the coaches say it the most, is like, no doubles at Bab camp. And it's true. We don't call doubles. We don't.
No.
And it's like two things. One, we see a huge improvement of hand setting throughout our camps from start to finish. And two, our camps are the happiest environment that you'll ever experience. And a lot of it is because we don't have those little tiffs of, you can call your own, call your own. Yeah. And then I guarantee you, if you call your own, someone's going to say, hey man, that wasn't that bad. You know? And so it gets rid of those little arguments. People can be happier all the time, and winners are winners. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hey, if you guys are listening at this point in the podcast, I want you to check out both our Instagram at Better at Beach Volleyball and our YouTube. And we have opened up a new swag store. I know I said at the beginning of this video, but check out some of our shop. Tell us some designs. And if you think you want to see a design or create something for us, we would love that. So if you want to see your design, your Better at Beach theme design, perforated throughout the world, yeah, send it along to us. It's pretty easy for us to get those designs on shirts. We would love to make that live. And if you want to get some swag, you can just click underneath the video on your desktop, or you can expand it if you're watching on your mobile. But I do want to talk a second about our upcoming juniors program. So we are creating some weapons for juniors and for parents to help ease the whole college process. And so a lot of these are already running, and some of them are in build. So a few services that we're adding. Number one is just creating a professional highlight video for you. So highlight and skills videos that will help you get recruited to colleges. So if you're worried about what skills you need to look at, what do college coaches need to see, we have a team full of all of that experience and editors. So we're going to start offering that soon. But you can click on the website. If you go to betteratbeach.com/juniors, you can get more information on it. It's not a service we have yet, but it should be ready July 1st. We're also creating a full exclusive college recruitment course, which is going to come with every timeline that you need, where you should be physically, what stats exist at the next level, and what's important as far as approaching coaches, approaching schools, landing in the right school. So we're going to give you a step-by-step process and timeline for everything that you need. And we also have the phone number and email of every single coach in the country. And we're going to include that in the people who sign up for that course. So that is starting, along with 5 Q&As with NIL professionals, with college coaches and recruiting specialists. So we're also going to have 5 live Q&As that the parents and the kids who are coming to those meetings, you guys can ask any questions of us that you want. Okay. Other than that, we have our regular analyze your game film. So if you're just looking to see where points are going wrong, your positioning, your technique, your strategy, we do a one-on-one film session, and we have that available. We have that available for juniors and adults. We're just speaking more to juniors and their parents now, but we want to help you with those games. And a lot of times your coaches who have 10 or 20 athletes in a club program, they don't have the time to dig into the weeds with every individual player. So you can count on us as your associate head coach or assistant coach, what have you. And then we have, of course, our blueprint, which comes with all of the courses for every skill, strategy, and drills that you can do at home, and workout programs. And of course, we invite all juniors, all levels, all ages to all of our training camps. So we've got a section on our website, betteratbeach.com/juniors. I want you guys to go and check that out and message us, email us, tell me what you need as a parent or as a parent of a junior there's a lot of ways we can go. But in order to do that, we need to know exactly what you want. So please DM me, Mark Burik, on Instagram, or email support@betteratbeach.com. Let us collect as much information as we can, and then we can create great things for you. But I'm really excited that we get to help out parents. I've done it for a few years now. A lot of my friends have been going through that process with their kids, with their daughters, and I've been doing it in my side time of like helping them say, you do not want to use this video, let's reshoot it, let's reorganize it, and then what types of emails you should send, how many times you should send it, your level of involvement as a parent, or disinvolvement, like what you should and shouldn't be talking about with your kid around this time, because there is an immense amount of pressure on young people.
Alexa,
And you
stop.
just cannot, you can't ruin that. So we give some coaching to parents on a personal and a social basis as well. So head to betteratbeach.com/juniors. Check it out. Tell any juniors or parents going through that we've got a number of services that will help you improve fast, both from the skill standpoint and from the recruiting standpoint. And we would absolutely love to help you out. We also have, it's soon to be released, but we have got a club-wide program, and I'm just going to let Brandon talk about that for a second before we wrap it up.
Yeah, so it's a little mentorship consultant type gig that we offer clubs. I've been working with a couple clubs over the last couple years, and it's really special. It kind of starts from the bottom, works its way down. So have a lot of meetings with directors on how they can create systems that their coaches and players can follow, how they, certain programs that they're currently running or tweaks that we can make to increase revenue. And then we also just provide a lot of support for coaches and players and directors. So the way it kind of works is we do an onboarding call. During that onboarding call, we see your current situation that you're in. We kind of touch on or kind of bring to light any troubles or issues that you are currently experiencing. Then we put our thinking hats on together and come up with ideas on how to fix them. Along with that, a lot of the times it's leading into a system. I actually have my first meeting with club Milwaukee Sting happening on Monday, where we've already done the onboarding with them. I've been working with this club for about 3 years now, and the growth that they've seen in their club is really cool for me to see it from the outside looking in. So once we do get signed on and we have that onboarding call, then we have 5 meetings with your entire organization, with the director and the coaches, and we just bring to light what is a system, what is the club kind of virtue, what do you stand behind, what are the systems. We introduce those. We talk to coaches on how to be effective coaches, how to run a specific practice, what drill development looks like, how to communicate with players, how to communicate with parents. And then throughout the season, we have 1 meeting per week with you, where it can either be just me or Mark and the director. It can be us, including the coaches, or we can even invite all the players, where it can kind of be a Q&A situation where they get to ask some guys that have done it for a while on how to be the best player or coach that they can be. Along with that, your entire organization gets access to our online curriculum. So your juniors would get access not only to our courses, but also our juniors recruiting build out that we're currently working in. And pretty much we're kind of wearing all the hats. We're helping you as a director. We're helping the coaches be better coaches. We're helping the players be better players, and we're helping them achieve their goals. So, yeah, and we do it in a way where it's a payment that the club makes. So all of your kids are included in that, which can be either, depending on the club situation, can be split up by the club and the kids. Yeah, so if you're interested in hearing more about that, if you feel like your club is stuck in a specific spot and you're trying to wonder if it can grow, but you're not sure how to do it. Or if you just really want to offer your athletes and coaches the best opportunities available to really meet their potential. It's an amazing program. So I think it speaks for itself within a year. And then obviously we want to keep working with you guys and kind of help you achieve the goals that we'll set out for you guys on our individual calls.
Yeah, I think a lot of club coaches get stuck after they are the coach and they get 20 new signups the next year, and then they have to figure out a new coach. So they hire somebody who they think they know what they're doing, and then it just starts unraveling because this coach coaches his system. You're coaching the system that you want to coach as a director of the club. And now you have so many kids that are just coming in and getting random advice from the volleyball minds that are not on the same page in your club. And so we like to tie that back in and get your coaches trained to be coaches in the way that you want them to be. We can provide a lot of the detail and the specific coaching points, which we give you a playbook for. This is how you teach passing. This is how you teach setting. If you don't want to use that, cool. But we will guide you through walking through your own playbook so that you can actually grow and your kids benefit without getting into the struggle of every young or amateur business builder. Because at that point, you are a business builder. And we go through this with betteratbeach.com. When I hired you, I was like, yeah, just go do this. And luckily you stuck around and we figured it out together, but probably only because we're best friends. And then when we hired a few of our other people, we didn't know how to tie them into what we did. And so we had to go back to our athlete and coach mind. And we said, yo, this is our team, not our company. How would we structure our team? We have a playbook. We have a culture. We have a language that we speak. These are the tools that we use. These are how we teach other people how to do it. And so if you're getting into that mode as a director where you've got a lot of kids, your club is growing, and you feel like too many things are just going off the rails in a direction that you don't want them to go, that's why we're here. Let us help you. Let us be your assistant director. So cool stuff. We keep growing too, and we live in a constant state of mess and discomfort. But everything we do just helps out the volleyball world. So we hope you guys are following along, appreciate it. And at some point, if you want to use any of our services, we are here. And if you have any other ideas of things that we could or should build, you let us know. But that's it. I think we're good for today.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good topic. Let us know what you guys think, and whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, social media, whatever it is, wherever you're seeing this on. Let us know what you guys think about the new double rule. Is it good for us? Is it bad for us? Is it going to make volleyball terrible? Is it going to bring the sport up? Let us know. We want to hear your opinions as well.
All right. From me, from Brandon, from everybody at Better at Beach, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you on the sand.